Hello and welcome to a new video. I'm going to address two quick things before we get started. For one, you might notice I am talking in a little bit of a soft whisper, not soft whisper, a soft talk, rather than a whisper like I've normally been doing. I feel like the whisper that I was doing might have been a bit of a harsh whisper, and so I'm trying this out, seeing if it sounds good. If it does, I'll keep doing it in the future. If it doesn't, obviously I'll just go back to whispering. Kind of the fun of the channel. I'm still exploring, figuring out what works, figuring out what doesn't, and so far that's been a lot of fun. The second thing that I'm going to be addressing, obviously in this video we're going to be going through a lot of Hot Wheels. I have moved since my last Hot Wheel video, and about a year has gone by. So I kind of lost track of what cars that I did. And I did like over 50 cars in that video, I think. And so I'm not going to go through that and pinpoint every car and go through and set those aside. So some of the cars that you might see in this video might have been in that last video. But like I said, that video is about a year old. So I really doubt that anyone that's watching this is going to remember any of the cars that you had seen. So shouldn't be an issue. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with the ones on the wall. You may notice, based off my last video, that I have done some minor updates to the background. This hasn't changed. This hasn't changed, but these have. I had them directly behind me, which I realized I was completely blocking with the way I was sitting, and I even pointed that out in that video, but I just needed to start filming and get back into the flow of things. So, I have 5 cars here, and I am going to address them because I believe all but one of these are different than what I originally had. Starting off, we've got the Volvo 850R British touring car champion vehicle. It's got the iconic racing livery that car ran at the time. I love Volvo wagons. Obviously, as I mentioned in the last video, I've owned 2. And I really just switched it out to this one because I think it's cooler to have the one with the livery up on the wall. This one is a Supra. I have a whole video that I'm eventually going to film, release on that, about how the Toyota Supra got me a job in the automotive industry, and that's what led to what for quite a while was my career. Shelby Cobra, as I mentioned in the last video, in which I'm going over the shirts, which, by the way, Hoonigan shirt, one of my absolute dream cars. It's a vehicle that I've loved for pretty much all of my life, so definitely had to have that represented. One of my absolute dream cars, so it like having that there. This one, like I mentioned in the last video, I had this one as a kid, but it was out of the box. Found this at a store, decided to pick it up. Now I've got it. Cool to have it in the packaging. And then this one is a 2012 Copo Camaro. Copo is essentially a drag strip ready Camaro that Chevy produces. It comes from the factory. It's not street legal, fully stripped out race car. And the reason that I've got that one up there is that my dad used to own a 2012 Camaro SS, so the street legal version, but same generation, same body style. So I have a very deep connection to that. He got that when I was in middle school. So it's cool to have the representation there because that was a big part of my development into loving cars. Now we're going to start. I might have to move this. I keep pulling it back and forth. I was doing it even more on the first couple of tries of recording the intro for this. But I'm definitely keeping it there because I like it. We're going to start off with the first ones that I'm picking up off the table. Starting off with the first ones that I'm going to be picking up off this little table just off screen that you cannot see. And then we'll go through them. I have them sectioned off. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count them. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That I will be going through first. And then those you'll see why I have them grouped up. Beyond that, I've got a section of American cars, European cars, and Japanese cars. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let me stack these up nice and pretty. So, starting off, we have got 5 Volvo wagons. Obviously, as I mentioned, I love Volvo wagons. I love wagons in general, but I love Volvo wagons as well. So we've got a red one, a dark green one, which I got to imagine with this lighting probably looks black through the camera. Bright yellow. This one, which is a similar, the same livery, but with different colors. I don't believe that it ever ran in this colorway, but it's cool to have. And then this is the same as this one. I didn't realize. Then I bought it twice. Next up, we're getting into the main pile of vehicles. We are starting off with a 1969 Dodge Charger 500. You've got a Dodge Charger 500 here. You've got the Hemi V8 in this vehicle. Obviously, you can see this one is in a red colorway. You've got the black stripes going down the sides. You got grayed out 5-spoke wheels. Very nice vehicle. Next up, you have got a bright metallic green 2017 Camaro CL1 650 horsepower out of a supercharged 6.2 liter V8 LT5. Super cool car. I absolutely love these. I look at the front. I love the way that the front of these look. They look even cooler on the real thing. Obviously, this is a little warped. Obviously, I love Camaros. I have quite a personal connection to them just with my dad having owned one. So I have, I think, a good handful of just different variants of Camaros. I think my next one is another Camaro. Speaking of that, let's get to that one. I think I'm going to start cutting out when I put them down, because I think my chair is going to be creaking. And I don't hear it that loud, but I fear you might be. The next vehicle is the 2013 Chevrolet Camaro Hot Wheels Special Edition. So you've got some specific wheels, as you can see. I'm gonna lean that a little closer, so hopefully you can get a better look at it. I'm hoping you can get a good view of that. Obviously, this one is yellow. It's got the red stripes with the white outer stripe going down it. I'm going to go ahead and try to get you a good look at the hood here, because there's a little triangular stripe kind of going down the hood. I don't know if you can see it or not, because I can't really see what you're seeing very well, but this is a vehicle that was sold in real life. I don't believe that you could get it in this color. It was blue in real life. But it did have Hot Wheels logos, and you might have seen one around. It's in partnership for this specific model. Next up, that's actually the last of the road-going American vehicles. Now we've got a Jeep Wagoneer super cool off-road rig. This is a 1988. Obviously this one's gray. It's got big chunky off-road wheels, and it appears to have beadlock wheels. So if you ever see on vehicles out on the road, a lot of cars will have fake beadlocks, but if you see that outer ring on the wheel with the bolts going in on a proper off-road vehicle with real, what is it called? With real beadlocks, it bolts into the rubber of the tire. So when you're off-roading, you let all the air out. Not all, but quite a bit of it. And it helps the tire kind of wrap around rocks as you're going over things without coming off of the wheel itself. So this one appears to have it. Pretty much any time you see it in real life in person, it's probably not a real beadlock. And that is just because in a lot of states within the country, it's not legal to drive on the road with beadlocks. Don't know why. it seems like it's just a safety thing, but not allowed, nonetheless. Next up, we have got the 1987 Dodge D100. You got big old 5 spokes on this. You got a tan paint job with some orange stripes and as well as some brown and black stripes. Now this one's dirty, and if I pull it a little close, you can see it's kind of tearing, so for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and open this. I'm going to try to see if I can get some good sounds out of this. So here we go. Here goes nothing. Got this part off. Go ahead and do some actual ASMR. I do realize that in quite a lot of my videos, I end up just talking and not actually doing any triggers. And so I want to make sure that I'm getting some audio in where I can. We're going to go ahead and put, actually, we're going to like I mentioned in the last video, which you might not have heard if you didn't watch, if you're only here for the Hot Wheels videos, which is fine. I do have 2 bunnies, and they are currently in the room. My little guy's currently eating a little bit of food. I'll put a picture of him right here. Isn't he cute? We also have a female rabbit. I'll put a picture of her here. That is Phineas and Candace. Like Phineas and Ferb, but it's a boy and a girl, so we didn't do Phineas and Ferb. I'm going to go ahead and throw this. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. We are going to pull the Hot Wheel out. And before showing this off, I'm going to try to get some sounds out of this. Next, we got the little truck here. So as you can see, on the front you've got a little hood scoop, a little, I hope it's focusing. Let me make sure it's, I think makeup YouTubers do this to help focus. As you can see, you got a little off-road bumper, you got a little hood scoop on the roof, big old chunky off-road wheels with 5 spokes. In the back, you got a little bed rack. Obviously, you got the tan paint job with the stripes with orange, brown, and black, just like I mentioned earlier. We'll go and see if we can get some Hot Wheel sounds. You may see me look off to my left occasionally. That's where I've got my computer monitor, and I can see my audio levels. So sometimes I'm looking to see if audio's being picked up or if it's becoming too loud. That's a really good tell for me to try to keep things sounding nice. We're going to try a little Hot Wheel driving on the mic. Okay. Next up, we're going to do 2 cars at once. We've got a Custom Ford Bronco. I don't know if you heard that. Someone honked. Custom Ford Bronco. Custom Ford Bronco. My dad has a Ford Bronco from the same generation. Not nearly in this good of condition. His is matte black with a gloss blue hood. And it's built for rock crawling. But in like a budget-friendly, beat the hell out of it kind of way. Like, it doesn't need nothing nice. It gets the job done kind of way. But these are super cool. And that is the end of the American vehicles. We are now moving on to the European vehicles. Starting off, we have got a Volvo, and not a wagon. We've got a Volvo P1800 gasser. So for the gasser, you can see that the suspension is higher in the front than the back, and that's part of the gasser look. Gassers are drag racers, similar to the Copo, but custom built, not from the factory. You can see it's got the scoop coming out the hood, and that little thing on the front. I don't really actually know what that is. I should look it up. If I do, I might put the text somewhere on the screen. It's probably already there. Next up, a Lamborghini Huracan LP 620-2 Super Trofeo. So this is obviously the race car. Anytime that you see -4 or -2 in a Hot Wheel car, in a Lamborghini, that is telling you whether or not it is 4 or all-wheel drive, or 2 or rear-wheel drive. Typically, the GT3, GT4 style race cars are all rear-wheel drive, hence why this one is a -2. Got the big wing on the back, got the gray racing livery. Very cool vehicle. On to the next Hot Wheel. Next up, we have got the McLaren Solus GT. Now, this vehicle was originally designed for Gran Turismo, the video game. And McLaren was so excited about this fictional vehicle that they had built for the game just to have in the game that they decided to go ahead and produce it as a real vehicle. They made a small handful of them. They're not street legal, just a race car. They developed a unique V10 engine that only exists for the sake of this vehicle. It is a single-seater, and this section, the roof and the windshield, slides forward, so in this direction, forward, to allow the driver to climb in and drive their vehicle on a track. Next vehicle. In a similar vein, you have got the Aston Martin Vulcan. Now, this is a front-engine V12, rear-wheel drive, absolutely insane, track only. And there are a couple people that have road legalized these vehicles so that they can drive them on the street, and I can't imagine what that's like. That's got to be an experience like nothing else that could exist. But if you got the money, why not? Next up, back to the McLarens. The McLaren F1. This is again a V12, mid-engined. This was the world's fastest car at the time. I forget the speed that it did. I'll put that, I believe, either just above that or maybe right here. Whichever works. This one's silver. Something really cool about the McLaren F1 is that you drive that vehicle from the center. So the steering wheel and seat are in the middle, say here. And then there's 2 other seats for passengers here. And it's one of, as far as I know, 3 vehicles with a driving setup like that. That being this, the Gordon Murray T50, which is one of the successors to this vehicle, designed by the designer of this vehicle. And then also the McLaren Speedtail, which was developed by McLaren as their successor to this vehicle. That vehicle visually does not follow the same looks, whereas the T50 does. The T50 is a manual V12 mid-engine. It much more resembles this vehicle. Up to you to decide which you think is a better follow-up to it. Next vehicle. Now we are going to another retro supercar, but this time the Bugatti EB110. And this is a super sport. This is another vehicle that, when it released, was the fastest production vehicle in existence. This was the return of Bugatti. They had been making mostly race cars, but also a handful of luxury cars back in, I believe, the 1930s. And this was the first time that they had come back with road cars. And you can see right there is the iconic horseshoe grille that all Bugattis feature. Super cool. You can see it's got the little holes there. And they put that on the 110, which is the successor to this vehicle, which was released, I believe, in 2023, that's meant to resemble it as a modern vehicle. This is a, if I remember right, a quad-turbo V12. And if I'm wrong, I'll put the correct information behind me. Very cool vehicle. On to the next one. We are doing another McLaren, this time the McLaren 720S. This vehicle was revolutionary when it came out. Very impressive. Crazy stats. 720 British power units, whatever that is. British people. And very cool car. But next is another McLaren. Another orange McLaren. And a brand new one. And this is, I bought this 2 days ago, and I didn't even know that they were making Hot Wheels of it yet. The vehicle isn't even out yet, and that is the new Halo vehicle, the successor to the successor of the F1, the silver vehicle that I showed before. This is the McLaren W1. So as you can see, orange. McLarens love orange. So this vehicle is rear-wheel drive, hybrid, twin-turbo V8. It's making over 1,000 horsepower. I don't remember the exact power numbers, but I'll put that somewhere behind me in text. It's a super cool car. I love the way it looks, especially the wing. I'm going to go ahead and try to show you some of the bodywork through the packaging, and I hope that you can see that well. But if not, here's a clear view of the packaging. Super cool. Really excited to have this in my collection. And I'm really happy that they have this out now. Super cool. Now we move on to the final, I believe, 8 vehicles, all of which being JDM. Starting out, the 1990 Honda EF generation Civic hatchback. This one is red, silver 5 kind of sort of spoke wheels. You can see you've got the white, a white stripe going down the side with a little black stripe going over it, and it says right there CIVIC for Civic. On to the next vehicle. R32 Skyline GTR. As you can see, this is a Skyline of the R32 generation in the GTR trim, produced by Nissan. Super cool vehicle. I've started seeing more and more of these. Very cool vehicle. Love these. On to the next one. Up next, we have got the Nissan Z Proto, or as I call it, the 400Z, because that's what they should have called it. Now, the Proto doesn't mean that it's a prototype. The Proto is actually the trim for this one that gives you that iconic yellowy green color that looks more yellow on the car. I mean, on the Hot Wheel, at least, than the real car. as well as bronze wheels, which the real vehicle does come with in that trim as well. You don't see very many of these. You see a lot more of the Supra, but you don't see very many of the Zs. I've seen a couple. Still very cool cars, but you don't see them very often, which is really interesting. I'm wondering why that is. I have a feeling they just aren't producing very many, but on to the next vehicle. Next up, we have got a custom 2001 Acura Integra GSR. The GSR is the second highest trim available on the Integra of this generation. The next highest, the top trim, being the Type R. I don't know why we don't have a Type R Hot Wheel, of the Integra at least, but in the meantime we do have the GSR. This one, as you can hopefully see, is a nice dark green metallic with black wheels with a little silver outline going around the middle, the perimeter, the outside. Super cool. Love Hondas and Acuras and all that general stuff. But yeah, love Integras. I almost bought one at one point, but I ended up getting something else. But it was going to be the same generation, but it was a sedan. The next vehicle is a 2017 Acura NSX twin-turbo V6 hybrid all-wheel drive. Super cool vehicle. This came out in about 2017. The original NSX, which I should have seen if I had one of the older NSXs as a Hot Wheel. That would have been cool to have both. But it might be in a future video if I do. And if not, I'm going to keep my eyes open. But we've got one right here of a newer one. Very cool vehicle. I love the design on this. I think it's a great vehicle. A lot of people hated on this vehicle when it came out, but honestly, it's a really good car. I think people like the original because it's basic, it's easy, it's simple. You might hear my rabbit. But this is still a great vehicle. It's different to a degree, but it's the same thing. And it's so good. It's such a good vehicle. Next car. 1996 Mazda RX-7. Honestly, terrible color on this, in my personal opinion. And I don't think that a colored hood looks good on the NSX. Obviously this is black. I got to imagine it's probably meant to resemble like if it had a carbon fiber hood. I don't think that this aggressive of a color looks right on a stock RX-7, and I also don't know about bronze wheels or gold wheels on that color, but RX-7, very cool car, rotary engine, rear-wheel drive, fantastic. If you know what it is, obviously you know how cool this is. If you don't, it's worth looking into. I believe Donut Media on YouTube should have a video out going over why these are so cool and over the history of the vehicle. Same with the GTR. A lot of stuff. If you want to kind of get more familiar with the automotive community, a lot of Donut Media's older videos are great places to start. A lot of educational stuff, a lot of going over the history of stuff, a lot of fun stuff. Their videos aren't as good now because they sold out, but they used to be really good. Definitely worth looking into if you're trying to kind of get into cars. Next car. Second to last one here. We are so close to being done. The Nissan Maxima drift car. Station wagon. You know I love to see it. This one's got kind of sort of 3-spoke wheels, which is super cool. It's got a crazy wide body and kind of a Bo Suzuki style of livery. And as I hope you can see, I hope it's not reflecting too bad, but you can kind of see in the artwork that it's got a clear hood so that you can see the molded engine underneath. That's super cool. I don't think that this exists in real life. As far as I know, this was custom for Hot Wheel, but I will verify that now that I've thought about it. And on to the last vehicle of the video. We are back to Mazda, back to rotaries, back to the RX series with the RX-3. Super cool vehicle, obviously another rotary vehicle. I love the wheels on this. I don't know if you can see them super well. You can kind of in the artwork, but love the wheels on this one. The white and blue livery. Absolutely gorgeous. I love this casting. And the colorway fits it very well. I'm really happy that they put that out. And with that, we are done. That is the last car of the video. I will be making more of these. I'm thinking that I'll probably release about one a month. I believe today, not including the big ass pile of Volvos and these, I believe that we did about 25 vehicles. That was my goal. So I'm hoping to do that. I think I've got a little over 150. So my plan is to do monthly videos, and then as I run out, I'm going to be purchasing more at the stores, because I'm always purchasing Hot Wheels and expanding the collection. And if I run out, I'll wait till I get enough new ones, and then I'll make another video. I don't think that this is a series that will ever have to end, especially if people continue to enjoy it in the way that they did the last one, which is my most viewed video by far, which is awesome, because as you can see, I love Hot Wheels. So if I can share that passion with others, that's really cool, and that's really exciting for me. So I'm gonna lead in here. I appreciate you guys for being here. I appreciate you for watching all the way through. If you are still here, comment something and put Supra in the comment, so I know that you made it all the way here. Yes, I am kind of comment baiting, but I'm also a small channel trying to get a little bit of growth too. Can't blame me. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Whether you watch 5 minutes or the whole video, I appreciate it. I hope you guys are having a great day, great week. I hope you sleep very well if you're not already asleep. And I hope that tomorrow treats you very well.